Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And next movie that we're reviewing is something that I saw on Netflix. Um, so Things Heard and Seen is mentioned, and even on Wikipedia is mentioned as a 2021 um, horror movie. It is not a horror movie for any horror fan like me because it's got the elements of horror movie, more like a supernatural thing. Dare I say it, it's got maybe a slight gothic feel to it. Not really, but I don't know if you understand what I mean, but it's got that slight elements of it. The story also kind of reminds me of a Daphne du Maurier novel. I don't know if you've read any of her novels. It's been ages, but I did remember reading a couple of her books, and this kind of reminds me a lot of that. And this is actually based on a book. Based on the novel All Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Brundage. And I don't know, I've never read that novel, but I'm guessing it's pretty similar to the storyline. So it stars Amanda Seyfried and James Norton, and surprisingly, in a role that I've never seen. I mean, I've never seen this actress before in anything else other than Indiana Jones. I think I'm not really sure. Karen Allen, right? So Karen Allen plays she plays the real estate agent. You also got Natalie Dyer, who is from um, Stranger Things. I was about to say Star Trek for some reason. She's from Stranger Things. She plays the sister character. And Alex Newstadter, I'm going to butcher that name, who plays Eddie Vale. Yeah, so basically this is a story about, set in 1979, it's a story about a young married couple, Catherine Claire and her husband George. They've got a young daughter named Franny. Uh, After a few tumultuous things, especially with Catherine having a problem with, puking out whatever she eats because she's kind of got this eating disorder. They decide that they decide to move to a town in Chosen, New York. It's a kind of like a remote, not a remote, but it's a very small town. He gets a job in a college teaching art history at a college there. Um, so they decide to leave New York, Manhattan, and go to this particular quaint little town. They buy this house and set up things over there, but slowly there are a little bit of supernatural events that is happening. Catherine seems to understand that there is actually a presence in the house, but it's not, the presence is not hostile. It's just trying to get her attention about a couple of things, and and it is a woman, so she kind of tends to, the spirit is that of of a dead, deceased woman, so she kind of empathizes a little bit with her. Things are not all that right with the family, though. There are certain things about George that come out later in the as the movie comes along. So I'm going to try and restrict the spoilers as much as I can. He is not who he says he is, although they are both college sweethearts. Um, he has got he's basically faked certain things about him, and this leads him to do certain harm, as well as even go and have an extramarital affair with a young student. There's also the two young boys of the family that used to live there. We come to find out a little bit later that their parents have both passed away. They used to live in that house, and the the way that the mother and the father died is not, all that. It's not like a natural death, is what I want to say. So there is that, and then there's also the thing about the older boy kind of like looking at Catherine as a little bit of a love interest, even though she's married and got a kid. I found a couple of things that to be odd, especially because Cole, the younger boy, is like just asked to like take care of the, kind of like babysit the girl, the young daughter Franny. Um, I'm a little surprised about certain things in this movie, but yeah, it's based on a book, based on a novel. Oh yeah, certain things come to light about George's character, and that's leads the family onto another path. So the overall theme of this movie basically is that there is this heaven and hell, maybe not, yeah, heaven and hell concept as well as the afterlife concept. It's kind of like a big deal in that area because of the, and I am kind of interested, even though I don't believe in an afterlife. I am kind of interested in reading this stuff. Um, Let me see if I can try and find out the. I think they do have this. The head of the art history department holds séance with some of his people, including his wife, and trying to contact spirits and all that stuff. And that's something which is not really something that I can believe, but makes for good movies. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find the name of the painter and the author that was there. Um, it's mentioned in the movie, and I remember immediately going on, like I was still watching the movie, and I was on my phone and trying to look up the artist as well, the painter as well as the novelist or the writer. But I can't seem to find it over here right now. Probably if I remember much later, I'll just put in the comments in the description box if I do remember what it is. But yeah, it's an okay movie. It's not very slow and very methodical, moving at a very slow pace. It's at a decent pace, but to be honest, it's not a horror movie in the least. Um, but like I mentioned, if you've read any books of Daphne du Maurier with these elements of supernatural things in family romance and all that stuff, that's what it kind of reminds me of. Although, to be honest, I don't really think this is a movie that's that great. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Um, to be honest, I got a little bored in between, but yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that there is this character who I really like. This actress called Ria Sihon. She plays Justine Sokolov, who is a colleague of George in the college, and she has her suspicions about George, and they turn out to be true. So I think her character was done pretty well. That's kind of all it about I want to say about this movie. But do watch it. I know I'm saying it's a 6.5, but do watch it, and hopefully you might like it. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good night.